guys, this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now this time we're going to be looking into the 5th episode of the 2nd season of the Muppet Show, which includes Judy Collins. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Judy Collins, she is actually a popular songwriter and singer back in the 60s and 70s. A lot of her noteworthy songs would include covers and her original songs like Both Sides Now, Someday Soon, Chelsea Morning, Amazing Grace, and Cook with Honey. It wasn't until in the mid-70s where in 1975 and 1977 she made a gigantic hit with her cover of Send in the Clowns. And not only this one, but several of her songs would end up appearing in the Billboard Top 10. So she definitely was a prominent singer back in the day, and now she seems to have her own episode of the Muppet Show to top it all off. But I will say, in terms of the episode itself, it really isn't all that great. This is honestly one of the weaker episodes that I've seen overall. And the reason for that is just that I don't know why suddenly this is a problem, considering that they would do it fine in the other ones. It's just that with this one, it feels really unorganized. And allow me to explain. Now, in terms of the backstory, like what's going on backstage, this is actually the first time ever that we see J.P. Gross, which is Scooter's uncle that owns the theater. Like, you would often hear so many times beforehand, like it used to be just a little joke of how Scooter's uncle owns the theater, so Scooter can get away with so many things, but now this is pretty much legit, and they're turning him into an actual character as J.P. Gross. But this time around, J.P. Gross pretty much wants to take down the entire theater and turn it into a junkyard. Now, I know exactly what you guys are thinking. The plot sounds very familiar. Yes, this is pretty much the exact same plot as the 2011 Muppets. Just take away all the Muppet nostalgia references, all the song numbers, and also just take away Walter and all the other characters. But yeah, the problem with this is that where we fully see more of a story in terms of the 2011 Muppets, this one, it's just glanced over from time to time, considering that it is a variety show and they want to throw in several sketches at once. It's just barely glanced over, and it doesn't feel like it is a serious situation as much as what it sounds like, really, because the only thing that they've done with this plot is that they just throw random gags here and there that would relate to it. Some are predictable and some are cute, but there are some funny moments, of course, especially with how Scooter would react to all this. That's definitely a lot of fun, but overall it's just because they want to do so many things at once, it's just barely looked upon, and it's just immediately dropped at the end of the episode. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're not really tearing this down, considering that, well, we are only at we're only at the start of season 2, so of course they're not going to tear it down. But also at the same time, many of the other sketches in this episode, it just feels completely disorganized. Now, we also do get another Pigs in Space segment in which it feels like it's unfinished. I don't know if they want to continue it or something like that, but it's just that in here, they end things off with a cliffhanger, which feels like we don't know if they're going to continue it. I honestly don't really remember if they continued that one. The plot here is that they failed to do a mid-course correction maneuver, and they just ended off on this random cliffhanger, which I completely, maybe I'm wrong in this situation, maybe they did continue this later, but I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere that they completely forgot to do. Even the first time that we do see Pigs in Space, it ended, there is a punchline to the entire sketch. But this one, the only thing that I feel like they corrected was that it's the intro where now things are starting to be a bit more familiar. Now we actually do have a bit of the, we have the tune with the intro, it's starting to be a bit more familiar and a bit more iconic with Pigs in Space. Now, with the other segments, like I said before, they try to throw in so many things, but it just ends off going nowhere, including some sketches that just fall off really short. There's one that was okay, like Sam the Eagle just comes in. It was after the Pigs in Space sketch, and he was like, okay, I am no longer associated with this show. I am out of here. Like, just that's it. And then there was another one where Link Hogthrob tries to sing this song like, I talk to the trees, and then even the trees are like, nope, I'm done. That's basically, we do have a little bit of a theme of pretty much characters just giving up. They're just like, nope, I'm out of here. And there is also another one, which I'm really surprised that they really go down into, was that there was this one little Statler and Waldorf gag where like Waldorf was apparently laughing so hard that he pretty much he was laughing so hard he pretty much fell down from his balcony, and like he's pretty much hanging from it. And then like soon afterwards they cut to Sam the Eagle and Statler talking to each other regarding the show itself. And you know, like, you can easily know that what the punchline is, what's going to be coming up. It's just that it is taking a bit of its time. I felt like they dragged the gag a little bit too long on that part. But then we also have the special guest, Judy Collins. And with her, I feel like she did a pretty fine job. She didn't really interact much with the other Muppets other than Rolf, but she was just there. That's mostly the case. And, you know, the interesting thing about Judy Collins is that in here, she feels more like she has a bit of that motherly presence. Like, the best way to describe it is that the songs that she would sing in here, some would include the Leather-Winged Bat, I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly, the Do-Re-Mi from Sound of Music, and then her ending number with Send in the Clowns. It feels like the kind of songs, like, they were really meant for, like, she wanted to sing it for the kids, and she wanted to be very soothing with it. There's no, like, it doesn't have a very fast beat. Everything is all her segments, like, they're very calm, they're very cool, you know, they're very sweet, you know, they're just really simple ones. And, you know, like, I know this is outside of what the Muppets would usually do. This is a completely different tone from it. But I feel like, okay, well, like, for what it is, it's not that bad. And, you know, like, this would be, like, I do agree, this seems like something that could be, you know, entertaining for the kids, but also it's not as hyper, it's not as crazy. But, you know, like, I do feel a little bit mixed, but I understand where this is going. But the one weird one, I will say, like, okay, technically, like, there is, like, I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. Like, I'm sure a lot of people might know it nowadays. It would be a bit sad, actually, if kids nowadays don't know that song. But, anyways, like, yeah, there is that one, which I will say that, yeah, like, the only comment that I would say about that song is that good thing that old lady didn't swallow a duck. But at the same time, there is, actually, going into that, the more I think about it, the more it's actually kind of strange how they present it. Because, like, we do see Judy Collins in the guitar singing I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly, but then you got this shadow puppet of this grandma just rocking on her chair, and, like, she is okay with swallowing all the animals that she just swallows. In fact, like, it feels like she's enjoying it, and plus the fact she does it on purpose. Like, you even hear, like, oh, come here, puppy, ah, num, 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 or like, oh, come here, Betty, ah, num, num, num. And then, like, she ends up swallowing a tiny horse, and literally, she exploded. Not in the sense that you think, like, literally, like, just poof, explosion the moment she swallowed a tiny horse. But the other one that I do want to talk about was actually Send in the Clowns. And that one, I feel it's so weird because, like, you got this calm, you know, the calm music that's very sweet, that's very mellow, and you got Judy Collins singing it. You know, it's very soft, it's very light, and, like, it's just Judy Collins singing in front of a black background. But then suddenly you get these clowns coming in, and it feels like, again, like the songs that she's singing, it's totally a different contrast to the tone of the show, because you get these random clowns just doing random clown bits, just goofing around, literally. And these aren't, like, actual Muppet clowns. These are, like, people dressed up as clowns. The only difference is that, like, they do have heads of clowns that are just giant eyes, and they got a giant nose. That's it. And the only thing I was thinking when watching that is that I'm sure this segment would give people nightmares. Like, people who are afraid of clowns would be mortified watching this. Like, you got this sweet song, and then out of nowhere, you get these 3 random clowns just goofing around everywhere. And plus the fact that they got this weird face. Like, I don't know, it's that if you go see that sketch of Judy Collins sending the clowns with the Muppets, like, there's just something that just seems a bit weird. I understand the tone that they want to go with the song, but I don't know if the clowns are really helping the situation. But the one thing that the 2 things that I will say that are actually pretty good, the ones that are really memorable, is that there was actually a report, like Kermit doing a report from the planet Coosbane, and he would interview with this alien called a Foob, and like it would slowly but surely transform into Kermit in order to adapt into its environment. And that one is actually a pretty funny sketch. And of course, we also got the Swedish Chef, which they actually cut to a few times in a row. Which again, it actually fits with, well, not really fits, but I mean, it actually kind of proves the point of how the entire, like, episode just feels completely disorganized. Where, like, you see the Swedish Chef just throwing up, like, a cabbage or a piece of lettuce, and just, like, he shoots it in the air and just results into, like, you either get an entire salad or suddenly this entire pile of Brussels sprouts. But, like, I'll yet to reveal the big punchline and all of that. But, yeah, that one is actually a great, those bits are fine. But overall, I would say that this feels like a completely disorganized episode. Especially nowadays with the 2011 Muppets, there really isn't that much of a need for this episode. The tone really feels like the tone would flip-flop all the time when Judy Collins would appear, and then you would get the Muppet shenanigans. Like, Judy Collins herself doesn't really interact much with any of the other Muppets other than Rolf during the Do-Re-Mi sketch. Like, the sketches themselves, they're too short, they're too quick, and everything just feels like it's all over the place. It just doesn't feel like there's a proper order. It doesn't feel like that, like, they have a single idea with what they want to do with the entire episode. It feels like they want to do several ideas in one shot, but it came out a bit as a mess. So this is probably one episode I may not really recommend much. But overall, with that said, that's pretty much going to be it for this episode of the Muppet Vlog. So hopefully they will get things right next time, and maybe the organization will go a bit better. So with that said, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later, dudes!